Hello all, I've got a restoration project ahead of us, or me, and it is removing the paint off these President Adams faceplates, repainting in black. I've got one damaged one here, which happened in a good old Australia Post. I'm going to try and find out, I'm going to use some of my skills to repair that. But there's two here. I'm going to put a new vinyl faceplate on these. This one has damage on the top, which has a crevice. So I'll sand off the paint to the original manufacturer's base, and then fill this area here with proper modelling filler. Then polish the display. I'm not removing this plastic. I'm going to try and sand it with 3000 grit or 2500 grit. This one's a bit more straightforward. It's been a lot easier, well looked after, but I still need to remove all the paint. The process will be 1500 to 500. Mask up the area after I've polished the screens, and then spray in undercoat, and then spray in black, then spray a satin finish over the top of that. Alright, we'll start sanding. Oh, what do I need for sanding? Remember my old trusty steel blocks, flat surface, wrap the wet and dry around that. We're using dry, and there's the smaller one. They're flat. I think they're about 4mm thick. I use them on anything that requires flat finish. Thank you. Okay, done the first cut. Decided to use a 240 grit. There we go. That's always quite surprised at this. I'm so used to working on faceplates and removing paint where it's so thin. It comes off, e.g. GEC models, 5826s. It just comes off relatively quick within 20 minutes. This is really thick. This is, but we're going to do thicker. All right, so some of the challenges. You can't see it now, but all along here was yellow marks from cigarettes that have been, I suspect cigarettes that have been left on the faceplate, and they burnt little crevices, little U-shaped crevices into this, probably a mil and a half deep. The beauty of this is that the ABS is very, very thick. So I was able to get nearly all the marks out with the flat bar. Now there are some areas there which will need fillers. There's a gouge there. There's a tiny little crevice there. That will come out in paint. This area here is quite large. That will require some filler. Oops. But as you can see, I removed the lens. There it is there, which is held on just by double-sided tape. I'll remove that, and that will slot back in after I've finished. And I'm going to polish that and get rid of all the scratches out of it, and that will be done with 2500 or 3000. Okay. All right, good progress. It's about an hour and a bit's work so far on the removal and smoothing out of the faceplate, so it's going to look like new. All right, thank you very much. Okay, that's pretty much it for the night. I've got most of that crevice out of the top of the panel. I'll fill that tomorrow. I've roughly sanded the bezel inlay around the edge. That's not as important. You won't know. The most important thing is the sides, top and bottom. but I go to the extent of preparing everything flat so that the adhesive fits. So you can see the difference between that, and I will now get the adhesives and show you. Okay, we sourced these from CB Faceplates in UK. They do a really good job. A lot of Europeans use CB faceplates. I've used them on about, I don't know, 5 or 6 jobs. Okay, so that's what's going to go on there after we've done all the painting, and the painting is going to be very, very thick, but you won't know it, and it's going to be airbrushed. So it's going to be sprayed at 12 psi, not like what you get out of a spray can, an automotive spray can. This is a far finer job, and in most instances better than OEM. All right, so that's where we started 2 hours ago. This is where we've ended up now. We're getting there. All right, comment, like and subscribe, and I'll show you the finished results soon. Thank you.